All right, you've probably seen everyone on TikTok doing that generative fill in Adobe Photoshop, so I am going to teach you how to do that. So let's dive in. Hi, I'm Laney. I'm a wedding invitation designer and I teach people how to design wedding invitations. And this AI generative fill in Photoshop is so fun to play with and I think will be super helpful as invitation designers. I sort of understand people getting scared as photographers and things because this is going to give us some capability, but I think AI is coming down the pipe whether we want it to or not. So it's a good thing to go ahead and learn how to use it in our field. And as invitation designers, this is going to be a really fun tool for us and helpful tool for us. So I'm very excited about it personally. So here's an example. This is one of my wedding photos. And what if I wanted to put it on a square piece, but it's a horizontal landscape orientation and it's 4x6ish. Maybe we want to do it as a square and we want to have more room to write. So we want to have the people down more towards the bottom right so there's room to put text over it. So the first thing is that you need to be in Photoshop Beta. So if you're in your Creative Cloud and you go down to Beta Apps, you'll need to download Photoshop Beta and make sure you have the most up-to-date version or it typically will just not work. I'm waiting for this to come out, not in beta, but for now you should have access to using it in beta. So first we need to expand our canvas, and so right now we have a height of 3832, so we do want to make this the same number of pixels as our width, and we are going to be relative to the bottom because we want it to only increase the top portion. Perfect. Now I'm just going to select the portion that I want to fill and a little bit of the image. That's going to help it know what to pull from for the AI features. And when you're just kind of filling the background and you don't really have anything specific to ask it, you can just click generative fill and you don't need to add in a prompt or anything. You can typically just click generate. You can type in like fill this in so it matches the background or something like that. But in general, if you're just kind of saying do more of the same, you don't need to actually type something in. That's going to take a minute to work, and then you're going to get 3 options and you get to choose a variation that you like. So, I mean, this is pretty good. We made that tree bigger. We added this little tree here. Let's see what option 2 looks like. Option 2 is a little bit more realistic because there weren't additional trees that we were standing under. And then option 3 adds some kind of clouds in the sky. I'm feeling a little weirdness in this tree, so I'm going to go back to option 2, and that's going to be my favorite. So right now we have just taken this photo and made it into a square. We have so much room to write over here. Everything looks super realistic. This works really well on a photo like this because a lot of this kind of thing, they're just going to put sky in there and there's no way to go back and say, oh, well, the sky wasn't exactly that color on this day, and no one's really paying attention to these blurry trees. Anyway, they may not be exactly the trees that were behind us on the day, but it's a good way to expand this in a realistic enough way, and honestly, no one's going to really notice the difference. So you'll have your generative fill as an additional layer. So you can still continue to turn it off. You can rasterize it and make it editable, and then you can do whatever else you need to do in Photoshop to work on this. You could even do more generative fills on these layers. So if you know how to use Photoshop, you can take some of those things that feel a little iffy and not as realistic and change them up. You could also combine different versions of those 1, 2, and 3 options that you were given. Now, I mentioned that you didn't need to use a prompt if you just wanted to expand an image. What if you did want to do something specific? So let's try and take out this stop sign and see where we get. So I'm going to use generative fill, and I'm going to say remove stop sign and fill with background. And to be honest, you might not even need a prompt in this one. It might work just fine. Okay, and this looks pretty good. Option 1, option 2 added a different sign in there. That's kind of interesting. Option 3 expanded that pole. I'm going to go with option 1. And then we can continue to do a few more things with this, or I might even use the clone stamp tool to get this pull out because it's straight up and down. It's really easy to kind of diminish that with the clone stamp tool. But it's kind of nice that you can just remove something like that. Another example, let's see what happens if I try to remove this car. I'm just not going to type in a prompt and see what it does. All right, option 1, honestly, good. Option 2, good. Option 3, pretty good as well. All of these turned out pretty well, so it just kind of depends on the background that you want, and especially in like a blurry background where you're just trying to take the attention away from that car and put it back on the subject. I think this is going to be just such a perfect thing to do. And as a stationery designer, I often find that people take photos kind of like this one where they don't account for the space we need to put save the date or whatever on top of it. So this is a good way to take a horizontal photo, make it vertical, make it square, make it round, make it, give it more sky space, whatever it is you want there. Now, another example is you can actually add things. So I'm going to just do a little circle here. Now let's see if we try to add something here. All right, so we added some rose petals. Not too bad. Those look like teeth. That's very weird. So I think this is not too bad. So you can add things, you can remove things, and you can extend things like patterns, backgrounds, etc. I'm really excited to use this, and I found a few different ways, like extending mock-up backgrounds, extending the background to some of my product photos, using this with my clients like save the date and invitation photos, things like that. So I'm really excited to use this in my stationery design. If you're interested in becoming a stationery designer, I have a membership just for you called the Stationery School that I will link in the description of this video. Let me know what questions you have about using this AI generative fill in Adobe Photoshop. I'm super excited about it, and I hope you are too. Thanks, everyone.